Hi, my name is Lawrence, and today I'm here to talk about what I call the dilemma of honesty. So, has it ever happened to you that somebody else did something or said something that you really, really didn't like? And has it ever happened to you in one of these situations that you didn't say anything, that you just bottled it up inside? And if yes, how did that feel? And also, what did that do to the relationship or the friendship or whatever? Did it go better? Did you guys get closer or did you get farther apart? Another question, has it ever happened to you that somebody else has been honest to you and it really, really hurt? Or you've been honest to somebody and got really angry with you or they got really hurt? Um, this is what I call the dilemma of honesty. Like somehow it's deep rooted in our society that we are being raised to hide back certain things, to be not honest. To like our parents say maybe things like, "Hey, we don't say things like that," or "Hey, be nice to that person. Give Uncle Johnny a hug, even if you don't want to give Uncle Johnny a hug." And yeah, this the dilemma of honesty. Like on one hand, if I don't say anything and I just bottle it up inside, like I die inside basically. My needs don't get taken care of, and most likely the relationship will go down south. And on the other hand, if I do stand up for my needs and I do say something, there is this very real possibility that the other person might get hurt or pissed, and that the relationship might also be at risk. So one is here like dying on the inside, and one you could say dying on the outside with sometimes literally. So it's hard to be honest, especially in situations where it's really important to be honest. And what I find kind of interesting about it is like, why is that? I mean, if you ask most people, like, what are the most important traits you value in other people? I think most of them would say, like, within the top three, they would say honesty. Like, just an intrinsic need for almost everybody to know what's going on in other human beings. So why is it that almost everybody says they value honesty, and then in so many situations we are just not honest? And I think this is mainly because we are never really taught how to actually be honest. So in school we learn all sorts of things that are supposed to prepare us for life. Some are more useful, some are less useful, but what we never really learn is how to communicate, how to express what's inside our minds, inside our bodies, to the outside. And I think this is so sad because this is such an important thing. So we never really learn how to be honest. We are getting raised to be nice, dead, polite people. And in the few, or sometimes not so few, circumstances where our parents or teachers are honest, it's mostly situations where they are not really happy, to put it nicely. So the type of honesty we do hear and we do get taught is something like, "Hey, you're so lazy. Don't be so selfish. Mommy is really disappointed of you right now." So, of course, now as grown-ups, when we try to communicate honestly, it kind of looks like this. "Baby, can you please be honest to me? Please just tell me what's going on for you." "Are you sure?" "Yes, I'm sure." "Are you really, really sure that you want to know what I think?" "Yes, I really, really want to know." "Okay, I mean, you asked for it. I think you're super selfish. You only think about yourself. Also, you're boring. And the worst thing is it's like I'm talking to a wall. Like, it's like you never even listen to me." So, this is not the type of honesty I want to talk about with you today. And in fact, I would even claim that this is not even honest. So the honesty, how I define it, is moment by moment revealing what's going on in me. So what the pretty woman was doing in that clip was she was saying, okay, I'm gonna tell you honestly what's going on in me. You are selfish. You are cold-hearted. You don't listen to me. I'm going to reveal what's going on in me. You are. Do you notice anything? Yeah, she actually wasn't talking about what was going on in her. She was talking about her thoughts, her stories, her images about him in her head, or what I like calling showering the other person with complaints, just taking all the complaints and shoving it onto another person's head. This is not what I mean with honesty. Okay, so the type of honesty I do want to talk about with you today is something different. It's, as I said, talking honestly about what's going on in you, sharing what's going on in you. So the way you do this is, or the way I do this is first to pinpoint what is objectively happening. What is something that you both can agree on? So for example, if my roommate is messy, or I have the judgment of my roommate is being messy, or the kitchen being him leaving the kitchen messy. If I say, hey, the kitchen is messy, you're messy, clean it up. It's probably not gonna make him likely to do it. I mean, maybe he will, but maybe he won't, because maybe he can just say, hey, for me the kitchen is perfectly fine. Maybe he feels comfortable in the kitchen. I mean, I'm German, and I'm kind of stereotypically, oh god, stereotypically German in that way, that I like my stuff very orderly and cleanly, and I can sometimes annoy people with that. So it might be very true that my roommate thinks the kitchen is perfectly fine. So instead of saying, hey, the kitchen is messy, what I can say is, okay, what do I actually see in the kitchen? What makes me think the kitchen is messy? It's okay, there are 3 dirty plates and 4 dirty cups in the sink, and they've been there for, let's say, 4 days, and I'm annoyed with that. So this is something we can agree on, it's something he can't say anything against. So I'm trying to stick with things that are true, and this is something that people can't argue about with each other. What I do then is I talk about my feelings. It sounds so girly and vulnerable, but it's, for me, feelings are just like the warning signs you have on your car. They kind of tell you when the tank is empty, or when the tires need to be refilled with air. Those are feelings for me. Those are just things you feel in your body that tell you, okay, there is some need of yours that is not taken care of right now. So what I do is, okay, when I try to get in the situation in the kitchen, okay, I see those dirty dishes in the sink, and I have the thought, okay, they have been there for 4 days now. I notice some tension in my belly, like I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I feel kind of overwhelmed, honestly. So we get the observation, there are dirty dishes in the sink, and they've been there for 4 days, and I feel frustrated and overwhelmed. And now what I do then is to talk about my needs. So needs are something we can all connect on. Everybody has a need for belonging, for love, for safety, for food, and on it goes. So I try to, and this is something we can connect on. So I try to find, okay, what is the need of mine that is not taken care of in this situation, and how can I communicate this to my roommate? So for me, in that situation, the need is kind of to feel at home, to feel comfortable in the kitchen. So this is what I tell him is, hey, dude, when I just saw the dirty dishes have been in the sink for 4 days, and I know this is kind of stressful for me. Like I'm getting really frustrated, and honestly also a bit pissed, because I really would like to feel at home in the kitchen and in the flat, and right now I don't. So it would really help me if you would do the dishes on time. Would it be okay for you that, let's try this out for a week, you do the dishes before 10 o'clock at night. You do your dishes before 10 o'clock at night every day. How does that sound to you? So yeah, just try out would make you, if you were my roommate, what what would make you more likely to do that? If I said, hey, if I said what I just said, or if I said, hey, do the fucking dishes, you're lazy, irresponsible, and I am sick with putting up with that. Yeah. So to kind of tie this back to the example we had in the beginning, the kind of role play example, I want to look at this also with those 4 lenses of, okay, this, which is called observation, feeling, needs, and request. And by the way, I don't know if I said this, I totally stole this from this thing called nonviolent communication. So yeah, just as a side note. Yeah, so now it's important for her to kind of look back and try to remember, okay, when was it that I got angry, and when did I feel like he didn't listen to me? And let's make an example. I'm just gonna role play this really quick, just to show you. I'm not gonna explain much. James, do you remember last night? I came home after work and I had a fight at work, and I really needed somebody to talk to, because I was really upset. And I noticed that when I was talking about it with you, and you were like, and you kept your eyes on the TV while I was talking. I noticed I got so hurt and so sad and so ashamed, because it's so important for me to kind of know that you're really listening to me. And I didn't really trust that you were actually listening to me when you were looking at the TV. And it's just so important for me to be heard and to know that I'm important. And so would it be okay for you next time we do something like that either you pause the TV for 10 minutes, or you just tell me, hey, I don't have the space for listening right now. Can we do that later? Would that work for you? Okay, that's it with the video. Just as a recap, we talked about the 2 types of honesty. One type was what I call showering the other person with judgments, where you just tell them everything you're annoyed about with them and all your complaints and judgments you have. And that one usually doesn't go very far. People don't want to hear it. And also I would say it's not honest. It's a judgment you have in your mind, and other people might disagree with that one. And the other type of honesty was vulnerable honesty, talking about what's going on in you, which feelings, which needs you have, and potentially formulating a request at the end. And this is an important point: a request that doesn't expect the other person to say yes. So this is not a magic pill. This is no guarantee that the other person will say yes to your request just because you formulated it in a very nice way. It's more complicated than that. Often such a request is just the beginning of a dialogue, and often the other person might say no. And that no usually only means that they have other needs they also want to have included. So usually the no is a yes to a need they have. Okay, but we're going too far. This is a whole other can of worms that I'm going to open in a future video, just to have this here. Yeah, you might encounter a no here still. It doesn't mean that all hope is lost. Okay, what else do I have? Yeah, and another really important point. This is not really a recap, and I've noticed. I'm bringing up more and more new points. It's not that much about which words you say, so you don't have to stay in this rigid 4-step framework. It's more about the attitude you have behind what you're saying. So, and the attitude change you get from looking deeper into yourself, from getting away from the judgments and away from trying to change the other person, and more into, okay, what do I need? What can I do? What can I request for the other person to fulfill this need? More from this energy, hey, I have this need, and I have this idea what you could do to help me fulfill this need. Would that be fun for you? Would you like to contribute to my life in a positive way? As opposed to, hey, you have to do this, otherwise you are an asshole and I don't like you anymore. Yeah, that's it with the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in a future video. Bye bye.